The government is corrupt on every level. But don't worry, the government will investigate itself and tell you what really happened. It's Sunday. I'm Akorn. Welcome back to Laugh While the World Burns, bringing you your weekly dose of Idiocracy memes and news. Real quick before we start, tonight's live stream is canceled due to technical problems. Hopefully, I can get something figured out and have the stream back up for next Sunday night. But for now, let's get into today's show. Advanced robot tech and AI surveillance systems operated by data centers. Well, guess where we're headed? Oh, we're not just heading that way, we're right in the middle of it. That's why they can't build these data centers fast enough. I just found out that cauliflower waffles are a thing now, and I just want to say that if anyone ever serves me a cauliflower waffle, I will immediately call the police. Well, I guess the police might be needed because somebody's gonna get their butt whooped. Sure, I can make you any kind of Democrat ballot that you want. Yeah, I'm sure they can. They probably come pre-printed directly from China. Granny, we dodged some bullets. We moved to California before Newsom came along and stayed out of New York completely. Well, it is very true. How many of you guys watched Beverly Hillbillies back in the day? I think that was a pretty good TV show. Smokey's brother, Gunny, wants to remind you that only you can prevent communism. Activists demand Black English be pushed on kids in California preschools. And yes, guys, it's exactly what it sounds like. And here's another article. Leftist California group pushes to add Black English to schools' multilingual education program. Their 10-point framework calls for reparations amid its push to expand multilingual program to include Black dialect. I guess the next thing, they'll have Black math or who knows what next. Remember in Terminator 2 when Sarah Connor was thrown in a mental asylum for destroying data centers owned by Skynet? Yep, it's coming, guys. I said that back some time ago, and anytime now, they'll start giving huge fines and jail time for cutting down flock cameras too.
I wish all racists would disappear.
3-month-old baby safely recovered after abduction in Marshall County. According to the Maryville police, a vehicle associated with the abduction of a 3-month-old had been detected in the area by a flock license plate reader. Added context. Local community members claim police stated that flock was not necessary for this case, and it appears flock may be paying news agencies for favorable coverage. Why not? Everybody else does it. When your electrician is from Temu. I mean, if it works, it's not stupid, especially in this summer heat. While working the register during a diabetic episode, a Dollar General employee drank a $1.69 orange juice and paid for it afterward. The company fired her anyway for grazing, but later, a jury awarded her $277,000 in damages. Just gets worse all the time, guys. Why does no one make mafia movies anymore? Because the mafia as such no longer exists. The criminality is now baked into the government, which is aesthetically boring. They're not wrong, that's for sure. 150 hijab and burqa wearing teachers expelled from school in Montreal, Canada. I guess at least there's a little good news. Well, guys, if you're looking at some perfect stack of dimes at the airport or carnival rides or wherever, they're probably fake. Flexible magnetic rubber strips embedded iron particles to stick directly onto steel tubing. pliable magnetic trim wraps around pipe joints to simulate clean TIG welds with zero adhesive. Nothing different than the last 40 years. Don't actually make real quality products, just literally make fake quality. First grader suspended from school for biting sandwich into the shape of a gun, pointing it at classmates. It's a wonder they didn't arrest him and throw him in jail. The EPA just proposed removing public comment requirements on new data center facilities. Gee, I wonder why they would ever want to do that for. Best we can do is equal poverty. Oh, it's going to get worse than that, unfortunately. When your employer won't pay you $22 an hour to come in 30 minutes late with a hangover and smoke weed in the back. I've seen some video clips before. Usually it's small business owners most of the time, who hired someone, then they had to fire him within a few hours just because of stuff like this. How did we go from cows are killing the climate to let's build data centers everywhere? Well, they want to kill all of the cows, so then they can take the farmland to build their data centers. That's how it connects. Because one thing is for certain, none of it has ever been about the environment. Senator Cory Booker claims the SAVE Act will shrink voter rolls if only legal citizens can vote. Yeah, Cory, that's the point. It's official, we're the dumbest civilization ever. People are donating money to Kyle Jenner to help her become the world's youngest female billionaire. I guarantee you that people are this stupid. This dad is going viral for blocking this man from the woman's bathroom because his daughter was inside, protecting his child in a public restroom. Do you support this father? Absolutely 1000%. At least that man is trying to protect his family, even with as bad as this system is that we're living in today. Man who had his nose, ears, and fingers removed to become black alien, shocked to learn it cost him his career. Yeah, what a shock. Nobody could have seen that one coming. Sweden recycles so thoroughly, the country ran out of garbage to burn, so it pays to import trash to burn in its power plants. These plants heat over 50% of Swedish homes. Less than 1% of Swedish household waste ever reaches a landfill. Yeah, but geez, they're polluting the environment with CO2. A girl pushed her boyfriend's truck off a cliff, and Toyota turned it into a $650 million ad campaign in 2004.
Oh, God. Hey, Mike, I know you think your truck is totally sick, but this is what I think of your precious 4x4 hang out all day with your stupid friend's truck! Push it!
How many of you guys remember this one? I don't know for sure, but I would hope that after that Toyota would just give the guy a new truck too. I apologize for us closing again. My 2 new cashiers quit because I said their boyfriends couldn't stand here for their entire shift. Don't hire Gen Zs. They don't know what work actually means. Now hiring baby boomers only. I can't blame them, but dude, usually it's just Gen X that gets skipped, but they kicked out the Millennials too. I heard someone call a corn dog a meat Twinkie, and life just feels different now. They're not wrong. That's actually a pretty accurate description. Maybe regular Twinkies should come on a stick too. $300,000 robot dogs are being deployed to guard AI data centers. Advanced 4-legged robots are now patrolling some of the nation's largest data centers that underpin the rapid expansion of artificial intelligence infrastructure. I guess Skynet is beginning its patrols. And unfortunately, guys, that's not even a joke anymore. Mom decides to drop kids off for first day of school 3 weeks early. Yeah, leaving a trail of dust behind, too. So many people are destroying flock cameras that the company making them is now disguising them as other objects. It seems clear people do not want mass surveillance, but the state is continuing anyway. Well, of course they are. It's never going to stop. It's only going to get worse. My chess set is missing several pieces. You should find a pawn shop. That could definitely be turned into a dad joke. Netflix sued for $105 million after Nicolas Cage World War II thriller goes missing, exposing leak risks. Speaking of Netflix, is this one of theirs? Me starting a new life in the woods with my dog instead of dealing with an increasingly Orwellian clown world. Not a bad idea, but where are you gonna go these days that they're not gonna track you? AI companies are bulk buying rare books, scanning them through high-speed machines that cut the spines off, and shredding the originals. This is basically modern-day book burning, but it's even better, at least for them, because everyone just reads the digital version anyway at this point, and very few will realize when certain text is changed, erased, or added to, let alone the books that just disappear and are never seen again. That's the price of not having a hard copy, and another reason why anything important you definitely should have in hard copy. Army veteran who sexually assaulted 7 women sues to be moved to women's prison after identifying as trans. And yes, guys, this is real. And he's currently serving a 167-year sentence. Local Taco Bell manager warns of explosive diarrhea virus outbreak. I finally found it. The square root. Why did we ever stop tarring and feathering politicians? You'd get life in prison for it today, if not worse.
We must stop using paper to save our trees, buy our screens for reading and writing, and save our beautiful planet. Now that everyone has a screen, we must cut down the forest for data centers. It's all for you, the people.
They always continue their agenda while telling us it's to save the climate, to protect the children, for our own good, for peace and security, etc., etc. And we've all been sitting here watching their agenda move forward every day. Man arrested because a Best Buy cashier had never seen a $2 bill. We were talking on the live stream last Sunday night, and the subject of $2 bills came up, and it reminded me about a news article that I had in a Gen X episode back a while ago that was similar to this one. A kid tried to pay for their lunch with a $2 bill, and not only did the cafeteria workers not know that a $2 bill was legal tender, but none of the teachers or the principals that got involved did either. And worse still, neither did the cops. That kid was arrested, and it went all the way up to the police chief, if I remember right, before someone with some common sense. I don't know how people don't know that $2 bills are real, especially when they're currently in circulation and are still printed every few years. But even if you didn't know, that's fine. Everyone literally has the internet in their pocket today. Any one of them could have just Googled it. Just a simple fact. I just paid my rent. Now I have a warm place to starve in. Unfortunately, this is what a lot of people's facing today. Sweden cuts classroom screens, brings back books, handwriting, and phone limits to boost literacy, focus, and skills. I saw a news article about a month or two ago, I guess it was, that reading and writing comprehension and retention are both much higher when you have to write it all by hand rather than doing everything on a computer. I think there was a different article that was also talking about how brain activity is much higher when doing work like this by hand versus when it's done on a computer. If you're wondering how accurate Toy Story 5 is, a toddler started crying a few minutes in, and his parents immediately handed him a tablet loaded with YouTube brain rot in the theater during a movie about tech rotting kids' brains. I think if I were him, I would have changed my username before making this post. I've never had any plastic surgery. The only thing I've done twice is Botox in my forehead. I looked it up just to make sure, and it is a real quote. But what do you guys think? Do you believe her? Drop it down in the comments. Pro-lifer protesting at an abortion clinic. 4 years and 9 months in prison. Indian illegal kills 3 Americans. 4 years and 8 months in prison. 2-tier justice system. It absolutely is, to say the very least, because we see more and more examples like this one every day. Texas mom jailed over dirty water Facebook post. Jennifer Combs said her post about Trinidad, Texas water problems led to a felony arrest, a night in jail, and a First Amendment fight. You guys know that I've had a number of examples in past shows about how people in the UK are being arrested over Facebook posts. And I've made the statement in past shows that it'll be happening here too. Well, here's another example of it here in the US. And the water that was shown running out of her tap looked like it came out of a mud puddle. But hey, you're not allowed to talk about that. It's a crime. And yeah, a grand jury later declined to indict her. But the point stands that not only should she have not been arrested, but there shouldn't have even been a precedent that even if it was a power-tripping cop, it should have been instantly stopped by their superior, let alone actually going to trial. Instead, this is only going to continue to get worse. Amateur looters. Professional looters. Yep, that is for certain. Organic eggs have worse impact on climate than eggs from caged chickens. Adopting organic free-range model in UK could lead to greenhouse emissions equivalent to 2 million tons of CO2, study suggests. They're going to say the exact same thing about people pretty soon. Actually, scratch that, they already are. That's why they've been pushing for their 15-minute cities. How one bad data entry in California turned a Range Rover test drive into a multi-day police stakeout thanks to the new flock cameras. From what I read, the police had been tracking this guy for 3 days, I think it was, and then the police boxed in the vehicle when he pulled into a parking lot somewhere, and they jumped out of their cars with their guns pulled on him because the flock camera and AI system didn't read the license plate correctly and had it flagged as a stolen vehicle. Number one, a cop that pulls a gun on someone for no reason, that person isn't armed, there's no danger, etc., they should be fired instantly, in my opinion. Number two, if you want to know if cops actually do their job, instead of just harassing and lying to citizens, why didn't one single cop in that department run the actual license plate number that was on the vehicle? If they had, they would have found out it belonged to the car dealership. Case solved. But nah, that's too much work. And they wanted to impound his Range Rover. Bill Gates pushes plan to lock down healthcare, education, and banking with digital ID. Tried to warn people for a lot of years that this was coming. A long time before 2020, let alone since then. Caitlin Clark puts black lesbians at risk of death, USA Today writer suggests, and cites Emmett Till lynching. Yeah, because the coaches complained about other players being allowed not just a regular foul or something, but straight out hitting her, knocking her down, stepping on her after she was knocked down, and whatever else. And the refs would not make one single call about it, because if they did, they'd be racist. And we're seeing this takeover happening across all of society today. E-bike capable of 72 mile per hour seized in crackdown. Yeah, steal that guy's delivery vehicle because he figured out a way to make money and save fuel costs and not have to pay so much in vehicle taxes and everything else. But on top of that, this is basically a thought crime. It didn't say that he was doing 72 miles an hour, but rather that the bike is capable of doing 72 miles an hour. They'll be doing the same thing with cars pretty soon. I'm fine with mass surveillance because I'm not doing anything wrong until someone changes the definition of what's wrong. 1000% fact check true. When you look at every law they pass and everything that they implement, which of course they only do for our good, right? You have to understand what they're going to use this for, not just today or tomorrow, but how about next year? Or how about after the next so-called election when they rotate all the puppets around? Your ancestors who died in wars for your freedom, looking at you give up your freedom by watching TV. Sad to say, guys, but this is a literal fact. Ohio EPA weighs allowing data centers to release wastewater into rivers. And this draft essentially just makes it clear that they understand that data centers themselves are going to be releasing pollutants. The first page of the draft reads, "It has been determined that a lowering of water quality of various waters of the state associated with granting coverage under this permit is necessary to accommodate important social and economic development in the state of Ohio." One thing I guarantee you, you're never going to hear them say anything like that when it concerns the people. I know of a guy that bought a piece of property that had a 40-foot by 40-foot metal building on it, and it already had a permit to build another 40 by 40-foot extension onto that same building. But the permit had run out, so he had to pay for another permit, but they sent someone out instead and told him, "No, we're not going to allow you to do that now. It might run the rainwater off in the wrong direction." And the thing is, he owned a really large piece of land. It's not like it was somebody's front yard in a town. $40 trillion national debt. They held hands and did it together. It's a uniparty system, guys. It's all an illusion. They own 13 homes and are worth $61 million. Yet they discuss taking your money to solve income inequality. The next time you feel stupid, remember that there are people who watch this show every day. Yes, there are. The problem is not people being uneducated. The problem is that people are educated just enough to believe what they've been taught and not educated enough to question anything from what they have been taught. That is very true. For t-shirts, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more, check out all the new designs in the AkornTV merch store. That link can be found down below in the video description. If you liked this video, then you'll love the one that'll pop up here. If you're looking for the latest Gen X series episodes, they can be found on my other channel, AkornTV Live. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and come back for more. I'll see you guys next weekend. Until then, you guys take care and stay safe this week. This is Akorn, over and out.